Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir was one of my favorite novels from a few years ago, so needless to say, I was both excited and fearful of this cinematic adaptation. Now, I just saw it in IMAX, so what's the verdict? Science teacher Ryland Grace wakes up alone on a spaceship light years from Earth. As his memory returns, he uncovers a mission to stop a mysterious substance killing the sun and save Earth. This is from directing duo Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, known for tackling a variety of genres like 21 and 22 Jump Street, the Lego Movie, plus Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And then notably, they're also the writers for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now here, they take on the massive challenge of adapting a novel that relies heavily on sounds while needing to capture the intensity, heart, excitement, tragedy, and triumph that Weir wrote so compellingly about. Just like always, I'm not reviewing the novel, only the movie, but I will let you know that this adaptation, it sticks pretty close to the source material. I mean, some elements are condensed or even removed, but these don't change the plot in any meaningful way. They're ultimately not so momentous that the arcs are altered that you'd notice. Ryan Gosling stars as the central figure, Dr. Grace, this brilliant teacher who's brought in on a top-secret project that is striving to save the world. Now, the story presents us with two timelines. One is in the present, as Grace is in outer space. The other through flashbacks that slowly develop the character and then create a persona who's flawed, but relatable and endearing. This also mirrors how the novel approaches the world building. It's effective to keep the storytelling emotionally engaging, while also filling in gaps of information that just round out the character. And much like Weir's other hit novel, The Martian, a large portion of this plot focuses on the loneliness that Grace experiences, watching him navigate lost memory and overwhelming solitude in this relatively tiny and confined space. And this is where the story rests on Gosling's shoulders, and it's kind of the make it or break it part of the story. If he can't win us over and make us care about his situation, the entire movie just becomes ineffectual. Honestly, when it was announced that Gosling was cast in the lead, I didn't see it. He's not who I pictured at all while reading the novel. But I am happy to say that I was totally wrong. His performance is awesome. He's somewhat self-effacing, but in this charming way, not filled with fake humility that's attempting to hide hubris. The character is timid, certainly not the hero type, but he grows into the persona that we need him to be, and then through that, the performance becomes captivating and poignant. There are also two additional main characters in this one played by Sandra Hüller and the other by James Ortiz. Now, they each have wildly different characteristics and mannerisms, but they both serve to instill confidence in Grace when he's lacking. Hüller has this tough gig of being a character who's cold and detached externally just out of necessity, but inwardly not nearly the concrete pillar that she displays. Her acting also allows us to see those small cracks in her facade that give her humanity and soften the cold exterior that she mainly gives off. And then with Ortiz, his inflection and personality are essential from an audio standpoint. Now, I'm not going to tell you what his character is, and you shouldn't look him up, but he has to create a loving and kind persona without us ever seeing his eyes or facial expressions. And he nails it, perfectly capturing the temperament and charm of the novel's character. From a technical standpoint, Interstellar ran so that Project Hail Mary could sprint. There are several homages to Christopher Nolan's exceptional space story, many using similar techniques to showcase space travel and flight. And when these are combined with the score by composer Daniel Pemberton, the emotional impact, it just rockets past 11 and becomes something that's inescapably sublime. And while so much of this movie relies on sounds for the storytelling, it's also a visual masterpiece. The way Lord and Miller imagine and then display the wondrous imagery of the cosmos, I found it breathtaking. There are a handful of different segments that create this dreamy viewscape that will sometimes take a single color and then just show off all the various hues within that particular color, certainly capturing the otherworldly vibes, but also introducing something striking like this perfect visual painting. I'm also impressed by the variety of the imagery. From dreamlike planetary visions to intricate terrain designs, the world feels tangible and plausible, even though this is sci-fi. And when CGI or other graphics are necessary for the production, I'm so in awe at how convincing everything appears. There are a few key elements that just have to be nailed for the story to work and then not become a distracting mess of effects. The film 100% accomplishes that. I didn't see anything that looked out of place or even wonky. Instead, the ship and the environments, they appeared lived in and real. And because this does revolve around a scientific mission, the story introduces concepts and jargon that could feel intimidating or daunting. Thankfully, though, the science is approachable and it doesn't get too bogged down in details, instead focusing on the higher level ideas that convey urgency, danger, or even sudden realizations. Because while the central impetus is a scientific one, it's a cold and impersonal topic. So the science has to be there for the story backbone, but the true crux is that of personal struggle, growth, and discovery. And you may look at the runtime for this and become just a bit hesitant. It's 2 hours and 36 minutes long. At no point was I bored or even restless, other than out of discomfort from the palpable tension and some of the drama. The pacing is even, and it allows us to ride the emotions in this controlled manner, creating massive laughs that are then interspersed with touching moments and even devastating portions that bring tears. I was here for the ride all the way through. The acting, world building, special effects, musical score, heart-wrenching drama, and intense action, they all worked in harmony to craft this story that hit every beat perfectly, and then in turn, delivered a cinematic masterpiece. That's cinema! Ryan Gosling is phenomenal in the lead role, using restraint, wit, and depth to seize our attention just through his electrifying personalization. Lord and Miller demonstrate exceptional vision and mastery of their craft as they bring the already superb story to breathtaking life. Whether you've read the novel or not, this is a remarkable adaptation, never negating the source material, but instead displaying it in all its wonder and magnitude. I'm going to absolutely be buying this and then watching the crap out of it over and over and over. There's no sex or nudity, a lot of profanity, and some violence. I give Project Hail Mary 5 out of 5 couches. I hope you enjoy the ride as much as I did. Okay, are there any adaptations out there that you think have nailed the presentation? Let me know what's worked in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.